What's up, everyone? It is time to punch your ticket to reality because the T2R podcast is back in action and we're going to be talking all the best in reality TV. My name is TJ Zorich, the editor-in-chief of the Agents of Fandom.com. And first off, we got the host of the Ticket to Reality podcast, Finalist, from season 2 of The Circle, a main show we're going to be covering here. Lee Swift, how you doing, my friend?
I am ready to fasten my seatbelt and ride this ride with my ticket punch because we've got a lot to talk about, and I'm excited about what's coming up with my wonderful circle. I have news too on Inside Scoop. They're doing a cast party in California, and I'm like, should I go? Because a rap party. Meet them. Do you think I should go? You guys want to help me out?
Yeah. Well, we'll get into that. And so the people he's asking here, we got one of the lead editors at the agentsofFandom.com, Emma. How are you doing this evening?
I am doing well. I got some hot cider. I decided to buy K-cups that were on sale of hot cider because, it's Hanukkah right now. And, cider has nothing to do with Hanukkah, but it's kind of festive, and we're rolling with it.
Hey.
It's cold.
And
cider has to do with it's cold. Happy Hanukkah, Emma. Happy Merry Christmas to all. Happy holidays. Yes. Regardless of what you're celebrating, even if you're not celebrating right now, hopefully you get to take some time for yourself. And last but not least, we are joined by the head of social media at the agentsofFandom.com. I keep saying the agentsofFandom.com instead of Agents of Fandom. I don't even know if that was Ryan's official title before, but it sure is now because he's keeping all the social medias afloat. How's it going, Ryan Cortero?
I am good. I'm doing well. I'll take that title. Yep.
And so before I throw this back to Lee, where he gives us his inside scoop, we talk about should he go to the Circle rap party. Spoiler alert, of course he should. Before we do that, make sure you subscribe to all the podcasts in the Agents of Fandom podcast network, including Ticket to Reality, Listen 3000, Fandom Academy, and of course the Agents of Fandom podcast as well. If you're watching us on YouTube, make sure you subscribe, hit the notification bell, hit that like button. We're going to talk some Too Hot to Handle today. We're going to talk some Circle. I'm going to eventually throw this back to Lee so he has to do the intros because I got too many podcasts I'm doing the intros for. Lee, take it away. Give us these inside scoops you got.
Well, the casting director, I've gone to 2 or 3 of these. You guys want to be my +3? I'll just tell them I got a +3, man.
Speaking of, if you're going to California, Garrett's not here with us today, another co-host of the T2R podcast, but Garrett's in California. You might have to go say hello to him.
Cool. Yeah. I don't know if I can make it, though, because it's January 21st in Hollywood, but I don't know if I can make it. But anyway, I'm invited, so we'll see.
Take your place.
We'll see. Hey, go. It'd be fun. Because, I know we're going to talk Too Hot to Handle, but this cast, just the things that I've been seeing, it looks so fun. I think we're going to love The Circle season 5. I really do.
I'm so excited.
No doubt about it. The Circle is my favorite reality TV show. But Lee, even if it's tough to swing for work, family stuff, whatever it is, you got to think of it long term. It's not just seeing some old friends. This is networking. This is this could be as big of a career move as anything else you do. So I think
let's see. What day does that fall on? What's January 21st? Let's work it out here. January 21st is a Saturday.
Saturday.
So, okay. All right. So I'm doing a bake sale to pay for my flight.
Oh, okay.
I don't
there
bake.
With Steven making a nice little trip.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, there you go. I don't bake, but we're having a bake sale.
No one needs to know if they're store-bought. Just
that's right.
Display them nicely, and it's fine.
Yeah, put them on a nice homey tray.
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
Right. These look a lot like Oreos, but homemade. They're homemade Oreo cookies.
Sandwich cookies.
That's right. That's right.
Homemade Oreos with the cream cheese icing actually are absolutely fantastic.
Oh, really?
But
Delicious.
for those who are tuning in for the very first time to the Ticket to Reality podcast, we've been here for a while. We've had some amazing guests like season 1 winner Delisa, season 3 winner James, Jack from season 2, Michelle from season 3, Trevor from season 3, who's of course Delisa's husband, and Shubham, who is coming back on season 5. He is of course going to be joining us in the future. But Lee, why are you the expert? Why are you being invited to these cast parties? For the people who are tuning in for the first time, who the heck is this Lee Swift?
I mean, good Lord. Who? There are people that don't know? No, I was on season 2 and I was a catfish and I catfished this river, for those that don't know. And I had an absolute blast. If you have any inclination about going on a reality TV show, I would highly recommend The Circle to try to get on, or any of the others, but The Circle has a special place in my heart. Another little known fact, so I can't say this person's name, but they contacted me and said they just got cast for 90 Day what is
Fiance?
it? Fiance. Yes, they just yeah. I won't say who, I won't say even the country where the fiance's from, but yeah. So we've been talking a little bit. A little nervous, but you know, I'm sort of a sage advice for those who, you know, and it's free. It's free advice. If you're getting on a reality show, and just let me know. I'll guide you through.
First step.
I'm like Gandalf.
Gandalf the Grey, Gandalf the starting to be very white. Head over to agentsofandom.com where you can see Lee's article as to how to get cast on a reality TV show. I joke, I jest, because Lee is one of the kindest people I have ever met. He is a good friend. I was a fan seeing him on season 2 of The Circle, and now I'm thankful that he is a close friend in my life. But another person we were a fan of, and I'm throwing this one to Emma, is Shuby. Shubham is back from season 1. Now he's here for season 5 of Singles, The Circle Singles Edition. 1, why are we such a huge fan of Shuby? And 2, after rewatching the trailers, I caught something he said. And so obviously he's the feature. Ooh. And so Ryan, I want your take on this after M, but he was kind of like the feature of the trailer. And I noticed later on, he says, the originals are outnumbering us newbies. And so I'm wondering if that means one of two things. One, if he's just not there from the beginning and he was referring to himself as like a newbie because he just got there. Or is Shubham catfishing? You know, in season 2, in season 1, he was all about, you got to play yourself. You got to be, I could never do the catfish thing. It's all about being you, you know? Why do people come in here and be a catfish? But the way he said that made me wonder, is this guy back as himself, or is he catfishing as somebody else? Emma, why do we love Shubham, and what do you think about that theory?
Well, Shuby is just wonderful. One of the highlights of season 1 was his bromance with Joey, who we also love. He's just was such a delight to watch, and I think it was so interesting having somebody that was so against social media from the beginning, and especially watching it for the first time as an audience member. I was like, okay, I don't really know quite where the show is going, but it seemed to me like it was a social media type experiment. And he was just very against social media, but then just ended up making connections and was just such a delight to watch on screen. So I am extremely excited to have him back. And as far as your theory, it's funny because when I was watching the trailer again, maybe I completely misheard it, but I thought he was saying that the newbies were the other people and they were outnumbering the originals, him. So then my first thought was like, wait, are there multiple originals that are coming back that they're hiding?
Lee, are you going back on?
Yeah, I was like, are we having? Do we need to have some discussions, Lee? Because it seemed like they made it like, even though it's a singles, I know you're not single, but
Not
I don't
single.
know. That was the first thing that I
Wow,
thought of.
I'm not single. But it'd be fun to go in and play because I played a gay 24-year-old River, my friend. I'd like to go in as a 22-year-old kind of Chloe from my season, that kind of spicy, flirty girls. I would love to do that. I want to catfish again. Let's be honest. I want to catfish again.
You just want to keep catfishing.
I just want to catfish. Just bring me back. Netflix, bring me back. I'll catfish.
For those who don't know, Lee's written 50 plus, 60 plus romance novels, some under his own name, some under a pen name, and so he could channel that spicy.
I could pull it off.
You hear how charming he just switched his voice there. I could pull it off. Very, very sensual with a little bit of a whisper and the raspiness there. Ryan, what do you think of all these theories? Is Shuby a catfish? Is he himself? Are there multiple people returning? What's going on?
Oh man, I didn't even think about like more people other than Shuby returning, but like I like that theory that I mean, the dream would be like having an all-star season of the circle with all these different people returning. And I also like the idea that he's going to be catfishing because obviously that's, like you said, that was against his mentality in the first season. And I think, it's kind of like how when Delisa came on, she, catfished as Trevor. And then when Trevor came on, he catfished as their friend. So I think if people see Shuby as himself, I think that'll, if he goes on himself, I think people will kind of think that's already a catfish. So I think if he comes in completely as a catfish, that'll just throw people off completely. And they won't have this worry of like, ooh, he was runner-up of season 1. He knows how to play the game. So I think by going in as someone else, that'll definitely, throw people off for sure.
Lee, do you know if he is or not? And my other question is, how do you think this twist of like it being singles is going to play into the game itself?
I can't wait. As somebody who likes Too Hot to Handle and Love Is Blind and all that, in fact, little known fact, go back to an earlier episode. I believe we discussed this as a possibility. Like we knew this was the way the circle could blow up even more.
There's apps like one of our 24 listeners from our first batch of launch. Now we're ready to ramp this up now that we're back covering the circle. Like we had our beta tests, when we covering all these other shows, but like this is a circle fam. Like that's where we got started. That's where we're ready to take this to the next level before we bring things back for Big Brother, Survivor, all these other things. Shout out to our amazing former guest Tommy Bracco of Big Brother.
Yeah, let's don't throw him under the bus. Big Brother.
He was great. No, that's what I'm saying. It was awesome. But one of our 24 listeners from that past batch of launching was without a doubt one of the producers, writers for The Circle, because they pulled that straight out of this show.
They did. Yeah. They did. Absolutely. We won our royal. No, we don't. But
I mean,
Ryan,
but
we don't need royalties. Yeah. We just want to be the official The Circle podcast.
There you go. Yes. But I agree with what Ryan was saying about Shabam. I think he cannot. I don't know what he does. I truly don't. I wish I did, and had inside knowledge. But you sign papers that says, and he signed them. You will not tell anybody. We will sue you. You will never have a penny to your name. That kind of stuff. So I don't know anything, but I agree with Ryan. I think he cannot play himself because he's going to have too big a target. They're either going to say catfish, get rid of him, or it really is him, get rid of him. So he has to come in as a catfish. I hope that's what he did. I don't know if that's what he chose to do, but given what he said in season 1, but he's a smart guy. So we'll see.
Unless they just don't introduce him until later. Like I could see that being something as, he's in the trailer to hook the audience. And then we get a little Shubham tease at the end of the first 4 episodes or whatever it is that they release. And he's not in till later. So when he comes in as himself, he's a bit of an ally. He's a bit of a safety blanket. You know what I mean? I could see that potentially being an option. But if he's there from the beginning, he's got to be. a catfish. Gotta
Mhm.
be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Em and Ryan, you've seen on socials some of the profiles that got announced. Who are the early people that have caught your eye?
Ryan, do you
Yeah.
have?
Yeah.
I don't have any.
Raven was like the big one that came to mind, and she's the first deaf
Got
contestant
blue
on the
hair.
circle.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
exactly. And like I remember noticing, like, you know, she was doing the sign language, and then she had her friend there. I have Paris, who's her interpreter and her bestie. So I can't wait to see that kind of dynamic, because obviously we always usually have two people come in together, but this one, you know, we have a first deaf contestant, and you know, this doesn't rely on having auditory skills. So I think this will be interesting to see, like, how she is with her words, how she is with reading people. So I'm interested to see, you know, Raven's gameplay.
That's such an interesting aspect of the circle, with how many, you think of how many reality TV shows are just kind of naturally ableist in their nature, whereas the circle really isn't. The circle can kind of be played by anyone, and I think that that's really cool. Who stood out for you, Em?
Yeah, I mean, Raven definitely was a standout. And one thing that I just love about the circle is that the representation has just been really great. From season one, it really has, to me, been one of the best reality shows in terms of representing a lot of different communities. So Raven's definitely a standout. I think Tom really stood out to me because he seems like he's going to be like kind of the class clown kind of guy,
Mhm.
comedian. So it's always fun to have those kind of people. Um, all of them look really great. I mean, we only got little snippets of each profile, but I think we're gonna have a really good time. Like Lee was teasing earlier, like I think this cast seems super fun, and I always love the when the contestants start flirting and do alliances like that. So I think like having a singles, like we've talked about before on a previous episode, I think it's really going to be a great time. So I don't know. I have my eye on Tom. I think because he just seems like he's gonna win some people over.
And what romances do you think are going to happen? Because I think Brett is gonna. He's the muscle guy. I don't know if you
Yeah.
remember.
Mhm.
I think he
You guys are
and
crazy. No, he's not.
then.
Do you remember what Marvin looks like? We can't call Brett
Oh, well,
the
that's
muscle
true.
guy
You're
when
right.
Marvin
Yeah.
exists.
That's true. I forgot
that's
about
a great point.
Marvin.
Brett's
Oh, my
borderline. Like,
God.
if you allow me
That's chiseled.
you give myself you give me a month or two, I can look like Brett. But Marvin, that
Yeah.
is Hercules.
You can grate cheese on his abs. I'm just saying, you definitely could. You know,
That's
so,
who I got. That's who I got my eye on. Just because, like,
yeah.
I mean, I don't think I've ever had very often too many thoughts that aren't very straight. But in terms of looking at this guy, like, I mean, damn, like that's a perfect body.
You know what? We all have a little
I just want to touch it.
fluidity.
It's
Yeah.
a spectrum. It's a spectrum.
true.
It's
It
a
is.
spectrum. Yeah.
Absolutely.
And he is waking up a lot of people's spectrum. Let's just say. But they're all.
Well, and the other
they're
thing
all,
too is I'm just looking at it like I've been my whole life. You know, I've been an athlete who's 5'10" and always been a little bit chubby, and so that is just the ideal athlete's body right there. That's what I've always wanted to look like.
Yeah,
Well, we're all beautiful in our own way.
that's right.
Tell that
But
to my
you
ego,
know, the
not to
thing
me.
is,
Embed that in my ego.
Marvin doesn't.
Yeah, I try to do that to myself too.
Marvin's never eaten a carb in his life.
Yeah, that's. I
You
mean,
know?
I
And
just
I
can't
like
give up.
carbs. I like
Yeah,
carbs.
I can't give up carbs. It's not happening. So I've kind of accepted the fact that some of those I just won't look like that, and that's it is what it is. But I really do think that we're gonna have some interesting
Yeah.
relationships on this season.
What do y'all think of Oliver Twixt?
Huh.
Oh yeah, he's entering as
I-
himself.
oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
he's fun.
Yeah,
He seems fun.
I was referring to my Instagram because I couldn't remember
Oh, okay.
everybody, but he looks really fun. I'm really excited.
I'm wondering if we're going to get a little bit of Chris Sapphire kind of vibe.
Mm.
I'm
what I was
wondering
thinking.
because I think that
Yeah.
he just the little bit we've seen of him, the energy is pretty awesome. I think so.
Yeah.
I like them all though. I'll be honest. I'm a fan of all of them. Fan.
Me too.
I'll admit it. I'm a fan.
Yep, immediately.
I
hooked.
just looked up Xanthi's Instagram,
Yeah, she's
and
gorgeous.
if we have her as a guest on the future, I may not be able to be present for that episode. Like that might be too hot for me to handle, which we're going to be another Netflix show that we're going to be covering
Wow.
as well here.
So smooth.
And so
Dang.
I haven't seen this. All three of you are caught up. Lee, throwing it to you first. Talk to me about Too Hot to Handle, because you three had a rant about a certain character.
Okay, so I don't understand Creed. It's like we had this opportunity to come
Spoiler
clean.
alert for Too Hot to Handle.
Oh, sorry.
Spoiler alert
Yes,
for Too Hot
I'm
to Handle.
sorry. This is
No, I should have said it before I threw it to you.
yeah. Okay. Beep.
No, that
Just
wasn't really that much.
just
of a spoiler.
bleep me out, whatever. But that to me was I was just like, what is wrong? I just don't understand. What do you think, Ryan? I mean, gosh.
Oh man, when he first came in, I was like, okay, him and Sophia, their relationships, like, it's cute. It's really, I like the way it's been building up, and then as soon as what's the girl's name? Starts with an F.
Flavia.
Flavia.
Flavia, yeah.
Yeah, when Flavia came in, came in hot and Creed came in hot and heavy with the massage. Was that the massage with Flavia?
No,
or was it?
that was.
No,
They
that
just
was
kind of like were standing around in the
Mhm.
bathroom and was like, "Oh, you're cute," and they just.
Yeah, and oh my god, it just I thought like him and Flavia, like that's gonna be it, but then the new girl came in. Oh god, I can't remember these names. I just remember Creed because he was so.
Imogen.
Yes,
Imogen.
Imogen came in.
Yeah.
Again, hot and heavy, and this guy, he's just playing everybody. Sophia says, "Watch out, Flavia. He's gonna do what he did to me, to you," and then there he is, doing it all over again. He's lying to everybody involved. It was hilarious, and I love that the producers insert all these clips, him lying. And it's like, yeah, we don't, we know you're lying. I don't know why you think you're going to get away with lying, as if these people won't watch it afterwards. Like, I don't get it.
Yeah, what was striking to me is he learned the actual wrong lesson from what happened with Sophie. Like that was in and of itself was kind of shitty what he did to Sophie, but he was honest with her, and it was like, I am interested in this other person. It's like, all right, that was pretty bad because you just broke her heart, but he was honest with her. But then when the same things started happening with Flavia and Imogen, he was like, I did that. I was honest with Sophie and it didn't work out well. So I'm just going to lie. I'm like, how do you come to that conclusion instead of the conclusion that you should be, hey, you're supposed to be learning and straying away from your player ways. Instead of that, you're like, oh, maybe I'll just lie and that'll solve my problems. Like, what? It was.
How old is he? I know he's in his 20s, but I don't know how old he is.
I can't remember.
He's got a few more player years ahead of him, I
Gotta be
think.
early 20s.
I would think. Yeah, I would think 23, something like that. 22,
Yeah,
23.
I would guess that.
Yeah.
I mean, there's definitely some like 27, 28-year-old men that I've met that aren't that mature, but like I feel like that's a very 23-year-old kind of. It was like I was flabbergasted, honestly, watching it, and it was so painful to watch, but at the same time, it was very entertaining to me, because I'm just like, I wanted to just tell Flavia, be like, he's lying to you, like,
Yes.
it was just the amount of times that they gave him a chance to tell the truth, he just did not take it. I was like, this man just keeps digging himself a hole further and further.
He made it interesting to watch, though. I have to say, I was like you. It's like, oh no, don't! You're not. Oh, but then, I gotta watch. Because
Exactly.
he was interesting. It was interesting. Should we spoil the winners or no? Should we not do that? I don't know what we should do here. Okay.
24-minute mark in the podcast created the marker. Spoiler alert, if you have not watched the finale of Too Hot to Handle, make sure you skip ahead to the 26-minute mark of the podcast.
So what did you think of the couples, the two final couples.
I really love. I mean, I loved Jawahir and Nick. So, but it was a huge roller coaster because there were the times when I was just like, "What are you doing, Jawa?" Like, like it was really. But I think she really went on the biggest growth journey, honestly, because she. And the thing that was different is that she was honest with him. I mean, they had a very open communication, and I thought it played a huge part in why Nick was able to come back and be like, okay, like you just needed to go on your journey, and they came back stronger, and I thought that was great. I honestly liked Seb and Kayla. At first I was just like, it was kind of reminding me of Nathan and Holly from last season that could not stop breaking rules, and I'm just like, oh my god, you guys have to stop. But they ended up winning me over because I was just like, okay, they're really cute and clearly are really into each other. So I liked them, and I like the winners. I think they made a good choice.
What about you, Ryan? Yeah,
I was actually surprised of how not split the vote was between the two couples because it was like what the 5 votes to 1 with Seb and Kayla as the one. I was like, wow. I thought it would be a bit more split that way because it's Seb and Kayla were everyone was OGs, but like I feel like they really established themselves from the beginning. And then, they stayed consistent throughout the series. But I mean, I again, like Emma said, like Jawa here really went through a lot. Sean came in hot and heavy, and he did not come to play. So he, and it was interesting to see that growth because like you could see like Nick is a lot more. What's the word? He was able to control himself a lot more in terms of the urges that they have on the show, and Jawa here was really the one kind of pushing those.
What kind of urges are those? For those who haven't who tuned back in, we are still in Too Hot to Handle spoiler mode, so come back at 28 minutes.
Yeah, there you go. Okay, thank you. Warning. No, I think Nick. Well, I like Nick and Jawa. I want to see if they last. I really think they might have a chance. Honestly, there was something there that was fascinating to me to watch. So I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful that this is one of those that lasts.
Yeah. So. Yeah, I've been stalking all their Instagrams to try to find out. I'm like, are you guys still together? And they keep teasing, like, well, you'll know soon. And I'm like, I want to know now. So I'm very hopeful.
Yeah. Awesome. Do you think that, like you said, Ryan, being an OG and Too Hot to Handle is best?
I feel like there you definitely see like the growth from people because obviously people at the very beginning who were there, they came in not knowing what show they were coming on. So, you see them right at the beginning where these rules are set and, obviously some people are going to break them. And obviously they were the biggest rule breakers there, even coming down to having like the big test, which, I would have been with James on that. I would not have trusted them. In their hideaway, I was genuinely surprised that they didn't do a single rule break at all during their time in the suite. But I think definitely being that OG like really helps a lot because of that journey from the very beginning when these rules are set to the very end.
Yeah, agreed. All right, we're not going to spoil anything. Is any other Too Hot to Handle stuff? Anything else before? So our fearless leader can say, "You can start listening."
You can start listening again. How dare you, Ryan?
This is not. I don't even think this is really a spoiler because it's like episode 1 is okay. So just talking about the promotion for this season is that they promoted that this is Mario Lopez's show. He is hosting a new show called Wild Love. And obviously all these contestants are just like thinking, Wild Love, are we going to like catch food? I love that was like the immediate thought that they all went to was like, are we catching food? Like, I can't do that. And I'm like, I don't think like Wild Love, like, I don't think that's what kind of show this is. But anyways, like the premise was that this is Mario Lopez's show. And, one of the best things about Too Hot to Handle is when they reveal to the contestants what show they're actually on. And it's just funny for Mario Lopez to introduce Lana, and he's like, peace, and he's just out of the entire show for the rest of the season. He's just out. He's like, peace, I'm paid. This is what you paid me for. No more after this.
Shout out Mario Lopez, Ticket to Reality's #1 fan, always out here retweeting us and sharing our posts on Instagram.
Awesome.
Too Hot to Handle has come to an end, and it means it is time for the circle to bloom in full fruition. We are so excited about season 5 streaming September 28th, the first 4 episodes. December 28th. Not sure why. December 28th is a big, the week of 23rd to 28th is pretty huge for Netflix because 23rd they got Glass Onion releasing.
Oh, yeah.
There's also something else huge on the 23rd that new season of Emily in Paris comes 23rd, which I feel like we'll have a pretty big Venn diagram for our listeners as well as people who like watching Emily in Paris.
Clearly, that's me.
Exactly. And when we get into discussing the circle, we are going to work to have a guest on each week, hopefully who has participated in the circle before, as people start getting eliminated in this show in season 5 and they're allowed to talk about their experience. We're going to start having them on as well. First on the list when he is allowed is Shoebomb. We've talked to him. He is interested. He's excited. He's just not allowed to talk about any of it yet. So we're going to be making that happen. And the thing I'm most excited about, the thing I'm kind of in charge of here, is I'm going to be making some games for us. And that's my favorite part of the circle is they're playing a game every night. There's always something kind of going on. There's some kind of challenge happening. And we're going to be crafting our games here on Ticket to Reality after those games. You know, I've been kind of feeling useless in the Ticket to Reality group over the last few months just because I haven't been watching as much reality TV show. I don't have the insight. I don't have the analysis to bring. But we may have kind of found our formula, our calling here, where as long as I'm not the one who has to make the rundown in advance, I don't actually mind hosting. And so I'll just direct the conversation, throw it to you here, experts. I can do the intros, the conclusions, the plugs, and I'll just ask you guys questions.
I'm down for that.
Yeah.
But we do want to hear your insight and analysis too. So
I'll have it for the circle. I'll have it for the circle for sure. Yeah. Just with all the things I got to watch for the Agents of Fandom, it is tough to prioritize all the other things sometimes. So on that note, check out our YouTube page, agentsoffandom.com, YouTube/Agents of Fandom. We got all our old Ticket to Reality episodes with stars, former winners of the circle. We got a review of some reality TV shows as well. We did our Big Brother drafts. We did a review for Limitless with Chris Hemsworth on Disney+. We cover Netflix. We cover Disney. We cover CBS. Lee's a Netflix guy, but we cover it all.
And before we go, I just want to do a couple because we haven't had one in a while. So Survivor was amazing. The finale. Spoiler on Survivor. It's been a couple weeks. So, the guy who won was the second oldest player in Survivor history to have won, and he donated all of it to vets, the whole $1 million. And my favorite player, probably one of the most classic moves in Survivor history happened, which was just, I don't want to ruin that for anybody because he did not make it he got booted because of making fire, but oh my gosh, it was amazing. And then I'm trying to do 60 seconds. I'm sorry, I'm doing it fast. And then the Amazing Race, two Big Brother contestants. Oh, okay. 2 Big Brother contestants. Just kidding. They won, Claire and Derek, who I absolutely am a huge fan of them. And so I was so excited about that. And I don't know if I've watched way too much reality, but is there such a thing as watching too much reality? No.
There's not, but there is such thing as watching too much reality and then not posting about it when you do host a reality TV podcast. So you gotta record. You send us voice notes every day, and we love them. You gotta start recording some with video where you're talking about these damn shows, Lee. We're trying to grow a network here. We're trying to build a platform.
I have officially been spanked, and on Too Hot to Handle, we would have lost money.
Rule break.
Rule break. TJ spanked Lee.
Lana's not happy.
This podcast would not be able to run on Too Hot to Handle because we do get X-rated on occasion. Especially with our episodes with Delisa and Trevor, we really got into it with those ones. So make sure you check it out. If you're on YouTube, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and subscribe wherever you get your podcast. Leave a 5-star rating, write us a nice little review. It goes miles and miles for us. It helps us so much. If you have friends who are fans of reality TV, fans of The Circle, let them know about the Ticket to Reality podcast because we're always into hearing your thoughts. We can weave them into the show as well. We love engaging with our community, just like we do over at the Agents of Fandom podcast as well. Anything else from anybody before we get out of here? Lee, awesome as always. Em, awesome as always. Ryan, fantastic new addition to the Ticket to Reality team. Pierre wasn't with us today. Pierre wasn't with us today, so Lee has to pick on Ryan instead. And I love getting my usual role of keep just like laying the spankings on Lee, and he never throws it back in my direction.
Wow! Ever
Garrett
since he saw Marvin, he wants to spank me. I'm just saying, something's happening here.
I'm 30 years old, almost 30 years old, but we're discovering new things about me every single day. On that note, that'll do it for our The Circle primer. The Circle on Netflix coming to Netflix December 28th, and we are going to be covering every single episode, releasing new episodes of Ticket to Reality podcast every Wednesday morning on any feed that you get your podcast. Thank you so much for tuning in with us today, and we will see you next week talking about the first 4 episodes of The Circle Netflix. Peace.
Bye.